Alright, so Mirabilis Abutatur. This track was forged by myself and Armada223, and we wanted it to be, we just wanted to make an original, really fun road course, because most of the tracks on this game, not all, but most of the tracks are either full remakes or remake with with one like new element. And we wanted to change that up. We wanted to make a completely new track. And I'm not saying that I have anything against the remakes. That's absolutely fine. Um, but we wanted to make our own, like, just new Halo 5 road course, completely new. And when we make other tracks, we also, like, if we remake elements from now on, I don't think we're going to do any more full remakes. We'd probably just, like, combine a bunch of elements, which were, of tracks that we want to remake, and, like, put it together to make a new track, and that's actually what we're doing on our next one. But yeah, so basically our goal was just to make something new, and I think we achieved that pretty well, because this track is a fully original Halo 5 road course, and it's a lot of fun to race. Even though it's my own track, I got to review it on the three same categories that I do for all the other reviews. So I'm going to go through raceability, flow, and aesthetic. And I'm going to go through aesthetic first. The aesthetic on this track's pretty good for what we had to work with. Now, I just want to let you know that we had hit the budget limit pretty quick. Like, we didn't really get to do as much aesthetically as we wanted to, but for what we had, I think we did a pretty dang good job. And by we, I mean Armada, basically. I mean, all I did was the building. But for what we had, I think we did a pretty good job aesthetically, and I think everything that's placed on the track for aesthetics makes sense. Like, I don't think there's anything that looks out of place. Like, we used up the entire budget, but I think that we really put it to use. I don't think we wasted it. I think we really put that budget to use, and everything makes sense. So the track has a pretty solid aesthetic for what we had to work with. It could have been better, but again, I really think we did as much as we could have. On to flow. The flow of this track is probably the main positive of it, honestly. I mean, the track flows really well. I mean, the corners, they just make sense going together, and a lot of the track is just repeated, like, duplicated sections, if that makes sense, and you wouldn't even realize it while racing it, because it just races really well. And I don't know, the layout just makes sense, is what I'm trying to say. The way it just comes together makes sense and flows really well. One of my favorite sections being the downhill onto the finish line. I also like the downhill chicane. I like the negative camber turn with the rock windows. There's just a lot of memorable parts of this track that I think are awesome. And then on to the raceability. Raceability, again, is very amazing in this track, because we had by far the best race all season. This was the last track on the schedule, and we by far had the best race all season on this track. And I was expecting it to be a solid race. Like, don't get me wrong, I was like, alright, this will probably be a fun race, but I don't know if it's going to be that well. We haven't really tested the track that much. We'll just sort of have to see how it goes. And it went amazing. The race was great. There was a solid four-way battle for the lead pretty much throughout the entire thing. And it wasn't really four-way. It was kind of like it was like us taking turns of it being a two-way battle, and it ended up being a four-way battle because there's 4 people in total, but we were all kind of like taking turns battling for the lead, and there was points where it was 3 wide, 4 wide, and there was points where it was just 2 people, and there was points where there was certain drivers in the back trying to catch up, and it was just insane. There was crossovers all over the place. There was extreme diving on the curbs to try to get as much as you could. There was people going off getting knocked off the track and then having to come back on, and that sort of like messed them up. People just railing the curbs super hard. People getting shoved into the curbs. People like popping insane 2 wheels. It was a crazy race, and the track ended up being very raceable. And overall, I'm very pleased with it. I'm gonna give this track, although I am biased, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I was gonna go a little bit higher, but I gave it a 9 because the aesthetics aren't really anything special. Although we couldn't do anything, although we couldn't really do anything with it still. I mean, there's still not that special, so that's what brings it down a little bit. But the raceability and flow in this track, I think, is one of, if not the best on Halo 5 right now. This is one of my favorite tracks to race. No, I'd go out and straight up say it is my favorite track to race right now. But amazing track. If you guys haven't tried it, go out, download it, try it, have some fun with it. If you want to race on it, let us know. And of course, if you have any tracks you want me to review, also let me know in the comments. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time.